In this episode of Group X Appeal, we're shifting the spotlight. If you've been in the game for a while, chances are you already have something priceless to offer: your experience. Becoming a mentor isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about stepping up to guide others, share your lessons, and leave a legacy that ripples far beyond yourself.
And today we'll unpack how to embrace the role of a mentor, the mindset shifts it requires, and how it can reignite your own passion in the process. Hey there, welcome to Group X Appeal. I'm Kimberly Spring-Glick.
And I'm Terry Shorter. We're excited to bring you this hot and sweaty podcast.
With over 25 years of experience each in the health and fitness industry, we're here to share hilarious, heartwarming stories from our lives and careers.
And offer practical nutrition tips, expert exercise advice, and strategies for holistic well-being and a positive mindset.
Group X Appeal is your go-to source for inspiration, motivation, and a few laughs along the way.
So tune in and let us help you be the healthiest, happiest version of you. What if the greatest growth you'll ever experience doesn't come from learning, but from teaching?
Whoa.
How about that?
How about them apples?
Well, you know, episode 51, we talked about seeking out a mentor. Today, we're talking about being that mentor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Terry Shorter.
I'm Kimberly Spring-Glick.
And we're excited to share this episode with you for several reasons. Number one, you know, we seek mentors, but then eventually and luckily and fortunately, we had the great opportunity to serve others as mentors ourselves. And so I wanted to give a few tips to you. 5 of them to be exact. So hopefully it'll help you along your path, your journey of helping other people elevate and rise to different levels they never even perhaps thought were possible.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think that you probably agree with me. Becoming a mentor is one of the greatest gifts.
For sure.
Because it's not just about being in service to others. In doing so, like the gift is given to us. Like it's so fulfilling. So
absolutely.
Shall we jump into tip number 1?
Let's go. We love
Bam.
tips.
So here's the first thing I want you to think about. Acknowledge that you are ready sooner than you think you're ready. Because you don't need decades of experience. You don't need to be so far ahead of others that you feel like you've completely mastered and perfected something. Even if you're a few steps ahead of someone else on the same or similar path, you have wisdom and insight to share. So we really want to encourage you to acknowledge that based on your unique life experience, your perspective, the skills you have, the insights that you have, the characteristics that you bring to the table, you already have gifts to share to others. You just have to be willing to step into that role, to step into that space, to begin to share those gifts. So it's kind of about acknowledging you're ready before you think you're ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give yourself a lot more credit. I think it's hard for people to realize the value that they can bring to the marketplace.
Yeah. I think the imposter syndrome pops in. It's like, well, who am I to, guide others? Well, I don't know what I just did there, but who am I?
That was really good. Well, there's been people who have approached me and they've asked that exact question. And I think one of the measurements that they use that is pretty tangible, I think, but not necessarily credible, is social media. Let's say, for example, on Facebook or Instagram, they look at the amount of followers that somebody has that they look up to, and they're like, oh gosh, they have like 100,000 followers, and I only have 1,000 followers. I couldn't possibly mentor anybody like this other person who has 100,000 people.
So crazy, isn't it?
It is. And so, they say, well, who am I to be able to mentor somebody?
Now he's just mocking me. He thinks he's funny. If you're watching on YouTube, you see what I'm saying. Boy, oh boy.
So, no, great tip for sure. You are more than you think you are. You're way better than you think you are. And
give yourself some credit.
You are ready. So, tip number 2 would be focus on awareness, but also be proactive.
Oh, yeah.
And what does that mean exactly? Well, great mentors don't just sit back and wait for the student to appear at all, who are looking for guidance. The great mentors are going to be aware of the people in their environment, stay really aware and notice the talent, notice the enthusiasm that's out there.
Yep.
In the case of group exercise, for example, if you're an instructor, perhaps you have, that person, and they don't, by the way, that person in your class, your student, doesn't even have to be in the front row.
I know, we always refer to it as that front row enthusiast, right?
Right. It doesn't have to be that
Nope.
front row person. It could be somebody in the back row that shows up on a consistent basis. You can see their enthusiasm. You can feel their energy all the way, across the room. And that person could have like superstar potential. And why not let them know?
Yeah.
Go up to them after class and say, hey, have you ever thought of, being an instructor and potentially inspiring others and sharing your gifts?
Isn't that how you became an instructor, Terry Shorter?
Absolutely. So, So Shalene Johnson saw both Tina and I in class. We were just showing up. And you've heard this story. You may have heard this story before, but started in the back row and, gradually migrated towards the front. I wasn't ready for the front row. I didn't think I was. But she came up and said,
I thought you were born in the front row. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is a
That's
surprise.
where my mom gave birth.
Right in the
It
front
was
row
messy.
of a group fitness
Thank
class.
goodness for towels. So, what are we talking about?
What?
So,
That went off track,
way off the
significantly.
rails, way off the rails. So, but in any event,
You made your way up front.
Yeah, I made the way up front, and she asked if we'd ever consider jumping into a certification, and still without the intention of teaching a single class. So yeah, why not?
Yeah.
She saw the potential. Sometimes people will see in you what you don't see in yourself.
Right.
And
I'd be
so-
curious how many those instructors out there are listening. If you also kind of got your start as an instructor because someone noticed you and someone said, hey, I think you could do this. I think you would be a great instructor. I'd love to hear.
Yeah.
Like in the comments, if you're on YouTube or on social media, when you see this posted, let us know. Is this how you started?
Yeah.
Because a lot of instructors start this way.
That's what we hear. Yeah.
Is being inspired by someone, just one person believing
Yeah.
in them and the fact that they have the capability to step into it. So if you're instructing, have that awareness and be
Yes.
willing to be the one to be proactive and say, hey, I think you could do this and I could help guide you. So,
And it could
yeah.
literally, like it has for us, it could literally change that person's life and just the trajectory of their service
Yeah.
for the better forever and ever.
And I actually kind of think for those of us who have been doing this for a long time, I think there's a sense of responsibility
For sure.
in bringing up the next generation.
For sure.
I mean, we're like super young and yet not necessarily spring chickens.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're not going to be doing this forever. So
No.
we've got to bring up the next generation. So,
Absolutely.
so a third tip, a thing to think about is just to lead by example. This is for, all of you Group X instructors, yoga teachers, fitness pros out there, like your consistency, your professionalism, the attitude that you show up with whenever you're teaching, training, it's going to teach those around you more than any lecture, any, dedicated lesson possibly could. Show through your actions and how you show up the standard that you want others to follow and to kind of rise up to. I think that it's so important that we don't just talk the talk. But you got to walk the walk. You got to show up and be the example of the type of fitness pro, type of instructor, type of leader that we need more of in the world. And people will naturally, start to maybe gravitate toward that and maybe even emulate that as they start their own path. And I honestly believe that we can mentor without mentoring, which is weird. And I only say that because a lot of my mentors have never met me before.
They don't know that
They
you're
do. They
mentoring
don't
them.
know. They don't know that I exist. And yet, through how they show up, how they lead, both in fitness and in life, business mentors, authors, spiritual leaders, things like that, just through their messaging and how they show up and being the role model that they are, I feel like I've been mentored by them. And so you have an opportunity. It's not like only when it's in a one-on-one scenario or in a group scenario that you have the opportunity to mentor. It's just by showing up in the way that you do, you can make a difference in people's lives that you might not realize. So lead by example.
Yeah,
Big time.
action does speak louder than words, and I love that. What would you
big.
say? What would be your number one tip to not just an instructor, but just anybody who wants to do that, who wants to lead by example? What would be one thing that you would say? Here's one thing you could do.
the first thing, I mean, it's so cliche, but the first thing that comes to mind is just be authentic.
There you go.
You just got to, don't try to emulate someone else specifically. Like, be who you are.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I was going to say the same thing.
But you're
Be yourself.
be yourself.
Yeah, love
I
it.
love it. Stop it.
We need to stop hanging out so much.
Seriously. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So our tip number 4 would be just to encourage folks. Don't try to control them. Don't
That's
try
huge.
to like micromanage or anything like that, or manipulate for sure. Don't do that. Mentorship isn't about creating little clones of you.
Right.
Right. We just got done saying be yourself.
Right, exactly.
Right? Be authentic, right? Let your people be authentic as well. Whoever you're mentoring, you're there to guide them. You're there to support them. You're there to challenge them. You're there to edify them. But at the same time, you let them find their own path. Let them find their own way. Let them fail a little bit too along the way. That's the way to success. There's no successful person out anywhere in the world, or probably even the universe, who's never failed before. So you're the person that you're mentoring, let them fail a little bit. You'll be kind of like the guardrails to get them and help them get back on track. But let them do it in their own way, because that's the best way to learn, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It is a collaborative experience. So often when people start mentoring, they see it as kind of a position of authority, and you have no authority over someone you're mentoring. It's a partnership. Right. If anything, like you're kind of beneath them, lifting them up. The hope is to inspire and to guide and yes, maybe like throw a hand back, but never to tell them what to do because it's what you think is what they need to do, or because it's what you've done or whatever. It's just doesn't work that way. And so collaborative experience, it is a partnership. So yes, I love that tip. I think it's so important.
Yeah.
And then the 5th one is just to celebrate growth. It is, as I just said, a collaborative experience, right? So you're in it together. And so recognize that it is a two-way street. Both of you are benefiting. So you want to acknowledge their progress, someone you might be mentoring, someone that you might be providing guidance for, as they see progress and have wins, celebrate that. Then also recognize and celebrate how much you've grown. Like Terry said in the beginning, what if you were to grow more, not from learning, but from teaching? And I honestly think that's one of my favorite things about mentoring others is how much I learn from the process, even though it's like my goal is to teach them, to guide them, but then I learn so much along the way. It continues to help us grow and evolve. Do you have that experience too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, when you don't forget to celebrate, you have to celebrate together, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't recognize how far we've come because we're so in it. We're so entrenched in it. You can't see the trees through the forest, right? And so to help the person that you're mentoring or the person that you're guiding realize their growth, that gets them excited to want more, to want to do more, to become more. And so that celebration process is absolutely, it's crucial. It's critical.
It's like fuel for the journey.
It is. It is. It is fuel for sure.
I love that.
So, so those are our 5 tips, for today to be a mentor, and in this little 2-part mini series.
2-part mini series. Yes. Step into it.
Yeah. So, someone is out there. They are waiting for your guidance.
Yes.
So don't underestimate the value of your story, your struggles, and your successes.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely encourage you. We would say this week, look for someone. Yeah. If you teach, look for someone in your class. Whatever scenario you find yourself in and what you're doing, look for someone that you can encourage and support and share wisdom with, and step boldly into that role of mentorship.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you may not realize this or not, but your impact can absolutely, like I said earlier, it'll change not just their life, but it'll change yours too. It has ours.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Awesome. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully this is, you got a few, inspirational seeds that will, plant, and you can cultivate and see grow. So that's it for us today. What would you say?
Yeah, we so appreciate you following, supporting the podcast. Definitely comment if you're on YouTube and if you have any questions, or whether on YouTube or social media, if you currently mentor, why do you love it? Why do you love being a mentor?
Yeah.
And if you're not currently mentoring, maybe leave us a comment and let us know that you're willing to move in that direction, because we need more mentors. We need more coaches out there lifting people up, bringing up the next generation, and just inspiring those around us to step more into, heart-centered servant leadership. So continue doing your good work. Follow us. Definitely leave us a review on any of the podcast platforms. We love being able to see what you have to share, and then any topics you want us to cover in the future, let us know that too.
Yeah.
Stay in touch.
We want all that.
Yes, we're in this together. We're in it together.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining in today. Episode number 52.
52.
I'm Terry Shorter.
Hey, 52.
52. What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying. I mean, we're still young.
This isn't episode 31.
But you wish. I'm not 52. You're 52.
You're 52. You're older than me.
Wait, 2 days.
So again, I'm Terry Shorter, and she is
Kimberly Springlick, I think.
Yeah, we know. So until next time, as always, we encourage you to have a great day. And why?
Because it is a great day to have.
It certainly is. Take care.
Much love.
Peace out.